London say Buckingham Palace has uncovered the truth about Archie.
Same date, different belly sizes. No, it's not the angle the photo is taken. There's no way that any angle could change that size of belly. What do you think?
The Bloodline Files. Prince William freezes Archie's status as Harry's DNA sparks royal turmoil. At precisely 9:07 a.m. on February 12, 2026, Buckingham Palace released a statement that reverberated across the United Kingdom and captivated royal watchers worldwide. The formal yet pointed announcement confirmed that Prince William had officially declined to validate the private DNA report submitted by Prince Harry, a report intended to establish beyond doubt that Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor is biologically Harry's son and thus eligible for reinstatement in the Royal Household Register. This was no ordinary display of sibling skepticism. It was an institutional blockade, a declaration that no child, regardless of claimed royal blood, would regain a place in the line of succession without forensic verification conducted under the authority of the Crown. Simply put, William demanded a second opinion, not merely from an independent laboratory, but from the monarchy's own intelligence apparatus. Once again, the royal family found itself in internal conflict, with stakes that include the legitimacy of two royal children, the reputations of two princes, and the stability of the monarchy's unbroken bloodline. The controversy began, at least publicly, when Prince Harry's legal team submitted a detailed 72-page dossier to Clarence House late last week. The package reportedly included a DNA test from a California lab confirming Harry's paternity, a sworn affidavit from Meghan Markle documenting her pregnancy timeline from 2018 to 2019, ultrasound records from a private Beverly Hills OB/GYN, a copy of Archie's birth certificate, and a notarized statement from a Portland hospital staff member. The stated purpose was clear: to formally re-establish Archie and Lilith as members of the royal family, clearing the path for their restoration within the royal lineage and privileges, particularly as Harry has expressed a desire to return to the UK following his public separation from Meghan. Prince William's response, however, was not merely firm, it was clinically precise. According to multiple palace sources, he immediately reconvened the Sovereign Succession Security Council, SSSC, a previously dormant advisory group of legal, intelligence, and archival officials tasked with verifying lineage integrity during disputes. Within hours, William's office issued a freeze on Archie's integration, citing significant irregularities and unresolved contradictions. Palace aides have since disclosed the details, now known internally as the Bloodline Files, highlighting 6 points that William and his advisors say remain unanswered. Among the issues, multiple photographs of Meghan during her pregnancy show wildly inconsistent belly sizes on the same dates, verified by palace investigators who insist that lighting, angles, and clothing cannot account for the discrepancies, reigniting speculation over the so-called moon bump. Unlike William and Catherine's children, there is no signed confirmation from royal obstetricians Sir Marcus Settle or Dr. Georg Beeston regarding Meghan's labor or delivery, and no hospital discharge records were filed with the royal archives. Archie's birth certificate was amended nearly a month after issuance, replacing Rachel Meghan Markle with Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. While Meghan's team claimed the change was palace-directed, William described it as unprecedented and unexplained, noting that Catherine's full legal name remains unchanged on all 3 of her children's certificates. Further scrutiny has intensified around the first official photograph of Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor at Windsor Castle, an image that has become a focal point of debate within the royal household and among palace investigators. Lighting experts consulted by the Sovereign Succession Security Council confirmed that the photograph was captured using studio-grade equipment, a level of technical sophistication rarely deployed for private family images and more commonly associated with professional fashion or editorial photography. Palace insiders described the composition as leaning heavily toward a stylized, Vogue-like aesthetic, rather than a candid, journalistic verite presentation. The session itself was tightly controlled, with traditional press photographers barred from attending, further fueling speculation about the intent behind the image and the level of orchestration involved. The intrigue surrounding the photograph deepened with revelations regarding financial transactions preceding Archie's birth. In May 2019, just 5 days before Meghan Markle's official birth announcement, a substantial sum of $500,000 was traced from Archwell LLC to a fertility clinic located near the Mexican border. This clinic is well known in elite medical and surrogacy circles for providing comprehensive gestational services under strict confidentiality agreements. The timing and magnitude of the transfer immediately raised eyebrows within palace security and legal circles. A classified audit conducted by former MI6 cyber cryptologists, now serving as part of the palace's custodian unit, uncovered encrypted notes embedded within the transfer documentation. These notes referenced a non-disclosure agreement with a third-party entity, which investigators interpreted as evidence of a prearranged and concealed gestational contract. According to palace sources, the audit was thorough, tracing the funds through multiple shell accounts before arriving at the clinic, highlighting an effort to obscure the transaction from public view and internal oversight. This discovery added a layer of complexity to the question of Archie's lineal legitimacy and raised broader concerns about transparency in royal succession procedures. Prince William, who is known for his composed but resolute leadership style, reportedly addressed the matter with aides, emphasizing the gravity of the situation. "This is not a rejection of my brother," he is said to have remarked. "This is a firewall to protect the monarchy's constitutional credibility." Despite the measured public tone, internal tensions have reportedly escalated. Sources indicate that William has formally suspended any efforts to reinstate Harry's children in the royal household register until a Crown-certified DNA audit can be conducted on British soil, under strict oversight protocols that ensure the chain of custody and forensic standards meet the monarchy's legal and ceremonial requirements. Prince Harry, in response, has accused William of weaponizing bureaucracy, portraying the delay as a calculated tactic to undermine what he insists is a legitimate claim to royal status for his children. Meanwhile, Meghan Markle has remained publicly silent throughout the unfolding dispute, though her legal representatives have signaled that international human rights law may be invoked if the monarchy continues to block recognition of Archie and Lilette, framing the issue not merely as a domestic royal question, but as a matter of transnational legal rights and protections. Palace insiders warned that the ongoing dispute could precipitate a full-scale public review of all documents, communications, and financial arrangements related to the Sussexes' exit from the royal household in 2020, a review that could encompass previously confidential media contracts, financial transfers, and internal memoranda that have never been publicly disclosed. In this context, attention has shifted to Horizon Gene Diagnostics, a boutique genetic testing firm based in Santa Barbara. According to Harry's legal team, the firm conducted a DNA test in mid-January 2026 that confirmed Harry's paternity of Archie with a probability exceeding 99.999%. However, William's camp has questioned the test's validity. Concerns center on the chain of custody, noting that samples were hand-delivered by a party affiliated with Meghan Markle, rather than through a neutral or officially certified intermediary. Further complicating matters, Horizon Gene lacks accreditation from the UK Royal College of Pathologists and is not certified under ISO 17025, the international standard for forensic laboratories handling legal evidence. These factors, palace sources say, render the test insufficient for formal recognition of royal lineage without further verification under Crown supervision. Compounding the controversy is the role of the attorney overseeing the DNA submission, Oregon-based Douglas Hall. A leaked internal email dated January 22, 2026, has intensified scrutiny. In it, Hall allegedly instructs colleagues, "We need optics, not science. If Horizon Gene won't expedite results by the 26th, find a partner lab willing to certify pre-analysis validity. It doesn't have to be bulletproof, it just needs to look unimpeachable." While Hall has publicly denied any misconduct, the email, when considered alongside the simultaneous shipment of samples to a second, unpaid laboratory in Zurich, marked explicitly for practice use only, suggests that contingency measures were established in anticipation of possible rejection by UK authorities. Observers within the palace have interpreted these maneuvers as indicative of a carefully orchestrated strategy designed to create parallel proof trails rather than a purely objective scientific inquiry. Taken together, the photograph, the financial transfers, the surrogacy arrangements, and the legal maneuvers paint a picture of a highly complex and contested narrative. The situation is no longer confined to family dispute. It has evolved into a constitutional and procedural challenge, one that tests the boundaries of royal authority, transparency, and the very mechanisms by which legitimacy is established and maintained within the House of Windsor. The palace's response has been methodical yet secretive. A classified intelligence report authored by former MI6 operatives, File Sigma, re-examined payments and surrogacy arrangements, including a $499,900 wire transfer to Archwell LLC to a Mexican fertility clinic 5 days before Archie's public birth announcement. Visual forensics analyzed photographs of Meghan at London events in March 2019, showing dramatic changes in abdominal appearance within hours, findings that palace 3D mapping concluded could not result from an organic pregnancy. Combined with testimony from former royal staff describing Frogmore Cottage as staged, the palace has convened emergency meetings with senior royal advisors. Under palace protocol, any child claiming royal household status must have verifiable lineal connection, documented birth, and authenticated records at every stage, a standard not yet met for Archie or Lilith. Historian Dr. Miles Grayson notes the implications extend beyond parenting. It concerns the survival of the monarchy's legal and symbolic structure, with a falsified bloodline potentially undermining centuries of precedent. Harry, through legal counsel, decried William's actions as bureaucratic obstruction, asserting that Archie and Lilith are ours and they are Windsor. William's allies contend that the response is procedural, not personal. On February 11, 2026, a velvet-bound file marked Lineage 1A Urgent was hand-delivered to the Office of the Royal Register, officially suspending any updates or validation regarding Archie and Lilith pending a full-spectrum bloodline review. This invoked Clause 6 of the Sovereign Child Declaration Act of 1837, allowing the heir to suspend claims in cases of ambiguity or dispute, the first time in over a century it has been applied. The Royal Commission for Lineal Ethics and Continuity, RELC, was convened to determine if Archie and Lilith meet legal, moral, and ceremonial standards for royal recognition. The commission, including senior lords, a retired judge, the royal archivist, a constitutional historian, the Archbishop of Canterbury's legal representative, and a former intelligence officer, is reviewing birth certificates, travel logs, surveillance records, and financial transactions. The outcome could permanently remove Archie and Lilith from the royal register, void titles, deny ceremonial roles, and impact inheritance from Diana's trust. Polls show 62% of the UK public support the review, with opinions sharply divided. Meghan is reportedly preparing a recorded interview defending her motherhood and alleging bias in the investigation, while William prepares a statement emphasizing duty over sentiment. A final twist emerged with a leaked private jet manifest showing Prince Harry traveling to the UK with Archie and Lilith. No Meghan, no press, no security, potentially a symbolic gesture asserting the children's place by presence. Journalists are now camped outside Buckingham Palace as headlines proliferate. Children in limbo, royal verdict imminent. Who owns the bloodline? The world waits as the monarchy confronts a constitutional, legal, and moral question. Does birth alone confer royal status, or must the crown first recognize it? As of February 13, 2026, the Commission's final report is under review by only Prince William, Princess Anne, and the Lord Chancellor, with emotional, political, and legal tremors already spreading across the globe.